finalize that matter by the middle of December.
Good afternoon, students. I'm really pleased to see you coming to listen to Prof. Rensbeck, taking us through with regard to assessor's report. Without wasting time, I'll just hand over the mic to Prof. Rensbeck, who will be actually taking us through as to how he's going to navigate to actually make sure that we turn things around. Over to you, Prof.
Thanks, Mike. Sanbonan. Tobel. Dumelang. So, who's read the assessor's report? Hands up. Because I want to come to all of you who have read it. Yeah? Usalap? So who has read the City Press stories this weekend? Yo. Yeah? So is there a problem? Is there a problem? Do we have a problem at the university? Huh? Huh? Okay. 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 How are you?
Fine, how are you?
Good. Thank you. Let's settle down. Let's settle down. Let's quickly take seats. So, let's start again. You say we've got a problem.
No, it's a crisis.
Ted, talk to us about the crisis. What do you find?
No, thank you, Prof. My name is Dennis Mabunda. I'm the suspended SRC leader currently. Yeah, thank you. So, Prof, we have read the assessor's report. So, there are a lot of crises in the university. But I don't want to speak much because we're here to listen to you and we're interested as to how we're going to implement the recommendations. So, the part that is challenging is the academic lifestyle of VUT, whereby it touches a lot of things that there's no direction in this university in terms of academics, of which, as we have graduated now, now even ourselves are questioning our qualifications. So how about the corporate world? Now that they're going to question the academic life of VUT, because the report states that there's not been academic support in the university. I think from 2000, if I remember very well. So it tells us that this university is operating on its own. It tells you that there are students who attended classes without registering. There are students who are awarded qualifications without even qualifying to be in the university. So it tells you that there's a crisis. I don't want to dwell much on the issues that appeared, but what is important is that we are here in the university because of academics. And then if the academics are not taken serious in this institution, it means that the graduates of VUT, like in a biological term, I'll say that we're endangered. We're endangered species in the corporate world, because we run a risk that we're not going to be employed. If this assessor is sitting now on the hands of those who have companies, what does it say about us? So I want you, Prof, today that when we leave here, you must be able to give us a clear direction as to what are you going to do based on the recommendations that are there. And I'm glad that also you have made your own recommendations, and that we want to hear you, Prof. The reason that we're here, we're interested in the recommendations. I understand that there's a lot of things that has been going on. So I want to emphasize on the CW building there. And let me just pause here because I'll go deep.
Thanks very much. Anybody else who had seen this, read this, want to? Before I come in, I'm going to come in, no question. But I want to hear some views. Hey! So suspended leaders also have voice, ne? Yeah.
Thank you very much, Administrator, Professor Ransbeck. My name is Kevin Mawila, the suspended Secretary General of the SRC. However, our issues are sub judice, but we're able to comment on the issues affecting the institution, of course. So I will agree with the latter speaker, Comrade Dennis, to say that our worry as students comes when the report touches our academic lives at VUT. What is it going to happen if I submit CV with a person that is coming from University of Johannesburg? Of course, they're going to question how the corruption of the university on management failed to strengthen the teaching and learning facilities in the university. And it speaks mostly in centralized campuses on how they failed to manage the centralized campuses. I even there read something like the appointment of those who are directors in centralized campuses is questioned as well. So my question will be, Prof. Ransbeck, the administration in VUT is coming, I think, in decade for the second time, or the third time, by the way. So in your tenure or in your term, what is your plan, what is your strategy to improve more than those administrators that they came before you? Because the administration came and the factions continued, the corruption continued, in fact, highly continued. And the other thing is that the special investigation unit, how is it going to unfold? Are students involved, former leaders or student leaders? Because it also speaks that the student leaders who are involved in corruption, taking money from suppliers. So I also want to question that, how are you going to implement that as well? And another question is that in the process of management, we can see they're implicated, most of them. The office of the registrar, the office of the vice chancellor, it's highly implicated. In fact, it's showing that the vice chancellor failed to give direction in the institution. The absentia, Mr. Mukwena, it's also saying that is perceived as too powerful person. So the disciplinary process as well, how is it going to work and how are you going to strengthen it? Is it going to be externally? Is it going to be internally? What are the recommendations that are going to assist the university? So I will come back, Prof. Thank you very much.
No, thank you, Prof. Equal, I'm one of the suspended student leaders, so I acknowledge the time. But mine, Prof, is to query few things. One, the report speaks that we are a university of technology, but however, we are focused more in management courses and humanities and other things. Then we no longer serve the purpose. That to me, it scares me as a student of this institution, as a student who's doing engineering in this particular institution. So, Prof, what is your goal? For one, we have a satellite campus at Ekurhuleni. But now the president in Sona announced that he's going to build a university at Ekurhuleni. It simply means the purpose of this institution there at Ekurhuleni is not saving anything. It must just close shop, if that's the case. There are corruption charges, Prof, that are alleged. Personally, I'll be honest with you, I feel like the report was edited and more of bias. That's my feeling. Because if there was submission from different stakeholders within the institution, it only targets people who are not even here in the institution. The likes of Prof. Zide is no longer here. Even if you want to take action, the man is retired at home. But the report is more of him. It's Zide this, Zide that. But there are elements within the institution that is not mentioned about certain corrupt elements. Comrades submitted, Prof. Hence, I believe that certain submissions, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, maybe they were deemed not fit. But there were submissions that were submitted there which are not showing. So that's why I believe that the report, I believe, is edited, Prof. Two, with the current ones which are there in the report, that they need to face the music. What's then going to happen? Are you going to revisit, because it speaks of revisiting contracts of senior and executive management position. Are you going to visit those positions? Of course, Dr. Mokoena, in his absentia, is the only vice chancellor in the whole South Africa which is permanent. Registrar, sorry. In my letter, I was the acting vice chancellor when he suspended us. So that's why I'm confused. So are you going to visit the permanent? I think when it's permanent, it's something that lifetime. So with the advice of the report, are you going to also visit the contract and redirect his position as per the advice of the report? I might not use the correct ways but it says the VC and his second in command must be replaced so that the university can have a direction. So are you going to implement that now? Two, in my submission, Prof, please, before I sit down, request all qualifications of staff members in VUT so that we strengthen the institution. We don't want to go out there and we're told that we're taught by people who are not qualified. There is a saga in the engineering department. I'm not sure whether it's true. The qualification of our suspended or is there, Prof. Ndenge, is questionable. So it's all over the social media. We are not sure whether it's true or not. So please, Prof, make from the lower grade to the last grade, verify qualifications. So that if they don't qualify, they go out. We have many students that we've taught, they come and fill those positions, they are qualified, and we prioritize them for our own. Please implement the report, we accept it, although it's edited, it's focused to Mdala, and Mdala is retired, Chair. Deal with the right people.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Prof, for this opportunity. The comrade already covered some of the issue, but they forget one thing. Us as young people, we're always having a program of young people. As we speak last week, two of our students, I don't know, that came to our attention, that as we speak today, we're coming from a memorial service. What are you saying as professor? How many students before you leave here? We were inside, we were gathering inside, not going into externally. But you come when a prof, you close where we are gathering as young people. Prof, this thing it's come to my serious attention because of if one of us in your term, as last week we were 8.1, there was a car accident, there was a student there was a car that was involved in a car accident. The person who was driving was a student. Last week Friday, two students were shot. Then what is your view? Are you saying we are chasing art outside so that we'll be killed or what? Please, Prof, what we are requesting from you, open our music. We want to dance. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're dealing with serious issues. I'm coming. We're dealing with serious issues here, right? And I'm happy. I'm real. Order. I'm really happy that so far the focus has been on the academic standing of the university. Yeah? Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. I like the fact that you said, Mr. President, when you give me the mic. It means, well, my name is Wandi Lemar, like the latter speakers. Well, to add, the unfairly suspended president of the SRC. Well, Prof, I'll try to be short, but these issues are very close to my heart because these are issues that we're confronted with day in, day out. Before we get to the academic challenge of the university, the first entrance of any student is access. So for you to discuss about problem of passing qualified people, it's a point of access that we must firstly discuss. And there's a crisis as we're sitting here, Prof, of students that were enrolled with this university last year that are struggling to enroll until today. They are not winning. They are trying to get into the system. And the only challenge that is keeping them outside is the fact that they do not have money. I mean, we're a poor institution. And where we come from as the university, we know they are poor students. You have a vision, Prof, of fundraising. All I'm pleading is let's give those students a chance. There are a few. There are 60-something that are not yet registered because they are owing the university. They cannot be registered. My problem entirely is that the same university is using exorbitant amount to spend on things that are unreasonable. Let me inform you now, Prof. Maybe you might not be informed. There's a curtain that costs 4,020, which is bought at rest. I've never seen that in my entire life in any shop. But students are closed out to say the university does not have money, there's student debt, but money is used day in, day out. There is a procurement challenge in this university. And when I'm going to speak about LAP, I'm going to show you inconsistency. The contract of LAP and the contract of KEF ends on the same day, expires on the same day. But only LAPA is closed. That's true, that is giving us running stomach. It's still open. And we must act as business as usual. Whoever was responsible for that must be taken into account. If it means they must go home, they must go home because really there are those that are collapsing the university. I've listened to your response on YouTube and I liked it. On the response of the report of the assessor, I read it. And I heard you saying that you hear the recommendation, you're also going to recommend, discuss with the minister and come into findings and also conclude. Spoke about also next year in June. And I welcome that. But the assessor speaks on governance problems. And I think that it's a bone of contention. Because when you don't have governance, it leads to you not having good academic staff. If there was good governance in the university, we would not be speaking of us having qualifications that might not be fit for us when we go to corporate world. Because the governance of the university would have picked it up earlier on. So all those that are in governance here, they are not fit. Because if they were fit, they would have picked it up and would not be here today. Jimmy is correct. The assessor says Prof Zide. There are deans in faculties. All of us here, we have our own deans. You know, we have our own deans. And our deans are responsible for our departments. I had a lecture there when I was doing policing, Miss Mulif. She was lecturing us in Sotho. She could not even speak English. It's only now she's getting a BTEC. And that is a lecture that deans in human science have left and not picked it up. So, Prof, there's no one here in the management level who's fit. That's why you are here as an administrator, to ensure that there's change. Don't fear anyone. If it means when you leave, they must no longer be that NAO. So be it. Because as an ETO finance, the university have debt. He saw it coming, he did not do anything about it. He must not have made massage him. He must just leave. Well, it goes to a point where students end up saying SRC is not useful. It's useless. It's because comrades were battling with acting people. People that are in the investors and on an acting basis. There's CW. CW in planning registration through the office of the registrar, Dr. T. Dimkwen. A year before, they must sit with the SRC that, here's our plan of registration. What is your input? The registrar does not do that. He come back in January. You want to plan registration in January when registration are running. That's why even today they are extended to Friday, that shows incompetence in his office. And we must say it as it is. We must not fear anyone. So, Prof, in closure, there is a crisis of governance beyond anything. Governance is the one that must be responsible in the University of Vaal to ensure that these small issues, they don't affect us as a university. They would have picked up procurement problems so long ago. They would have picked up all the challenges that we're facing, academic challenges. I mean, there was a time where they were advertising and say, we want diploma in this, but not TUT. We don't want it to get to that point where they say not VUT. But if we don't have governance, we're still going to get there. So if there's any challenge that we're pleading with you to clear here, it's governance issues. Those ones of rest, by the way, they still owe us vouchers. Please tell them, we want our money, we want to use it for our...
So, let me come in, and then maybe as we close, we will have some more contributions, right? Okay, that's the deal, right? So, thank you to all of the student leaders for their inputs and for those who will still make further inputs. It's clear that we're in deep crisis here. It's a 20-year-long crisis. The question was asked, what's going to be different this time? Just some background, the previous two administrations, 6-month jobs. The belief is you take out the vice-chancellor, you take out the council, you bring in a new vice-chancellor, you bring in a new council, you sort it, sharp, you can go. 6 months later. Both of those have not yielded the results that we're looking for because the institution simply continued through its people to behave as if there was no administration or administrator in place. And so the difference this time, at least we hope, that's my hope, my belief, is that we've been given 2 years to get our house in order. We've been given 2 years to get our house in order. And so yes, Prof. Zide is in retirement. And yes, we will retire other senior colleagues, but that is a conversation. It's not an announcement. Hey, we need some more. That music is not good enough for the crisis we're in, yo. That is like cool, you know. We need some serious hip-hop here. Huh? To get our university back on track. And so what we plan to do is to go deeper. In the remaining 15 or so months that I'm here as administrator, we'll not be able to go all the way down. But we can go down to level 6. I was saying earlier to staff that one of the fascinating things globally, nalapha mzansi, is that people who are in post-level 6, people in charge of procurement. Yeah, so you've got the Vice Chancellor and you've got the Deputy Vice Chancellor and you've got the Executive Director and you've got the Director, now you've got the Manager. Those managers don't want promotion. Why don't they want promotion? Yeah? They're comfortable. I was also sharing with staff earlier that I share with you now that typically those people working in those roles, by the way, human resources as well. How many of you have seen the book or read it, How to Steal a City? Have you seen that book? How to Steal a City? It is the theft of Nelson Mandela. That's Port Elizabeth, Dispatch, Utrecht, you know that area? It's Nelson Mandela Bay. The book is How to Steal a City. How do you steal a city? 3 things. Number 1, you steal infrastructure projects. Yeah? Like here, we did, as the SRC leaders know, and as many of you know, we did here a project to fix residences. 30-odd million rand project. Beautiful letters were written after that project. Wonderful work. Highly recommended for work. We've had to go back there. Restart the work. 30-odd million rand later. And so the first thing you do when you want to steal a university or a city or a country, as we've seen, how do you steal a country? You steal Eskom. You steal Transnet. You steal Prasa. Who else? You steal SAA. Okay, SABC, there's no infrastructure, but it's got a different role, right? And so that's the first thing that you do. Second thing that you do, I want to accelerate, sorry I'm delaying a bit. Second thing that you do is you steal normal procurement. Normal supply chain management. Toilet paper. Right? How much is a roll of toilet paper, single ply? How much? 5 rand. I thought it's 2 rand. Okay, how much is the double ply? How much is the one with aloe oil? So can you see where I'm heading? 5 rand, and the university might, I'm not saying it's a fact, the university or the city might buy it for 50 rand a roll. So that's how you steal procurement. Right? Third thing that you do is you plant your people in human resources. Yeah? Because that is the most important place to steal. Is then you bring in your brother and your aunt and your uncle and your mother. Yeah? We know that they need jobs. God, they're not qualified for these jobs. And there was no open process for those jobs. First, I come in as a temp, right? Yeah? The next thing, I'm given a 1-year contract. The next thing, I'm given a 3-year contract. And so those are the 3 things that you do to steal a country, to steal a city, to steal a university. And so that's a depressing thing, that we actually steal universities. The most important institution in our nation, the university. At least for me and for you. Universities are the most important because it's the space for the production of highly skilled personnel. Yeah? It is the place of the production of knowledge, of science, of culture, of intellect. It's clear that in our university those things in the main didn't matter. And so you're right to be concerned. And so what are we going to do? So my first meeting on Monday is with the SIU. You know the SIU, right? So Monday is my first meeting with the SIU. You'll be interested to know that I didn't call them, they called me. Isn't that good service? It's very impressive. It's very impressive. And I hope that they're going to be impressive throughout. And so what is the purpose of that engagement? Is to walk them through key aspects of the assessors' reports and my own findings and my team's findings, the administrators' task team findings. The purpose of which is to pinpoint low-hanging fruit, if you like. What are those? There are 3 kinds. Number 1, they are members of staff who have been involved in corrupt practices. Yeah? And because of their corruption and fraud, the university has engaged itself with contractors it should not have. University has just lost 32 million rand, yeah, or thereabouts. Somebody's going to have to speak up. Somebody's going to have to cough out or cough up. And so the first group would be members of staff. Bless you. Second group would be students. Student leaders. One of the big criticisms in that report of us, is that we're observers. As I would say in Xhosa, siyabukela. We are watching, doing nothing about it. And so you have equal authority in this university as staff, which means that you must also carry responsibility for the state of the institution. I'm happy to say that I'm getting a number of students who are sharing with me, providing me now with information. Yeah? Sharing videos, photos. What are you doing there with that owner of that private student residence? Why are you meeting? Why should a student leader be having coffee? Why should a student leader be having coffee and isteak mnandi? Yeah? a rib-eye steak with Mlongo, who owns that property. Is that the right thing to do? So I'm happy that we're now getting the help. We're now getting help from students, because we can also share that with the SIU now. Yeah? So it is staff members, right? It is students, and then it is the corrupt contractors. Yeah? So the SIU, we're going to point them at all of these contracts. Yeah? All of these contractors who have been appointed. And we're going to provide them with the evidence to pursue those companies equally so. And so the first meeting is on Monday. We're not waiting for grass to grow under our feet. Yeah? Second thing, going to management, the point that some of the leaders have raised. You'll see that the report says exit levels 1, 2, and 3, or redeploy. It also says evaluate everyone levels 1 to 4 as to whether they fit the institution from a competence, from a commitment, from a capability, from a performance point of view. You'll also see that the report says for levels 1 to 4, annual lifestyle audit, alongside declaring their conflicts of interest. My wife is a director in that company, my sister, my niece are owners of that company that are doing business with the university. There's no register like that at the moment. So I'm happy with that, but I'm saying it doesn't go far enough. It needs to go to level 6. So we're going to go down to that level 6. It's about 70, 80 members of staff in total. That I'm going to sit down with the administrators task team. By the end of March, we're going to finish that review, one by one. Yeah? Now let's not be in a hurry. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. These are mothers and fathers. Yeah? Brothers and sisters. And so we have to apply Ubuntu while being firm. No, slow down. Let me give you a lesson in Ubuntu. No. Don't. You heard me say Ubuntu, you didn't hear the other part. Yeah? What is Ubuntu? Okay. I'm going to ask the SRC to organize a session for us like this. We're going to have political education. Yeah? With the SRC leading, and you're going to invite me to that conversation if you think I can offer anything, Mr. President. Yeah? So I look forward to such a mkhabula session. Yeah? So, we have a law, right? What is that law called? Employment, that determines employment conditions? Labor Relations Act? Yeah? Yeah? Ubambil. So, there are all of these laws. I can't just, that's not how it works. And so we will be firm, no question about that. And unfortunately, there will be change, but I can't preempt individuals. We're going to have those conversations, and there will be some changes. Yeah? And so on the management, that is the plan. That we're going to do this fitness assessment, and we're going to make changes if needs be, or if the situation requires it. You've asked us to check on qualifications. We've taken note of that, yes. Key part of the recommendations is I think as the president of the SRC indicated, relates to governance. In essence, what is said in the report is that the way in which council was constituted set itself up for capture by factions. So, how do we get members of council? We sit down with the SRC, we sit with Nahau, we sit with Nteu, and we say, who can be councillors? And then we mustn't be surprised of the consequences. Yeah? We mustn't be surprised. Another key recommendation relates to the number of members of council. Too many members of council. Bring it down to 20. Revise the statute. Clarify the role of the registrar. Clarify the role of the vice-chancellor. Clarify the roles of the deputies. Clarify the roles of the executive deans and executive directors. You'll be interested to know that one of the things I found when I arrived was confusion, I don't know, by design. Confusion between MANCOM, Management Committee, which comprises of the Vice-Chancellor, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, the Registrar, the CFO, and the Head of Human Resources, and Executive Management Committee, comprising of Executive Directors and Executive Deans. It seems as if the one that was wagging the tail of the university was the EMC, not MANCOM. And so when you've got 30 people, 30 leaders, executives in a room, it's easy for them to be captured by a faction. And unfortunately, what I then found is that decisions that should never have been made in that committee are made in that committee instead of at the level of the management committee. And so one of the first things that I endeavored to do was to clean that up. So that now we have MANCOM meeting twice a month. That is the committee that runs the university. And so I can share with you that 3 new members of staff will join us from the 1st of April, Mr. President, Mr. SG. We'll have 2 new Deputy Vice-Chancellors coming in, and we'll have a CFO coming in. And that would allow us to begin a new chapter, or at least for the journey to go forward. It will allow these 2 Deputy Vice-Chancellors for teaching and learning and for research, innovation, and tech transfer to focus us back on the academic project of the university. And so part of my job, in addition to the typical administrative jobs, is to accelerate their learning and to mentor and coach them so that they can, within 90 days, be up and running. And so that's a key part of the role that I will have to play to assist the 2, and of course, to work with the CFO equally so. It was very sad that the executive dean that we appointed for the Faculty of Engineering, that he had a terrible heart attack in December, and he passed away. And so we had invested with him so much effort. He was coming in on the 2nd of January this year. And so we've had to restart that process. We've had to restart that process. We have appointed a new executive director responsible for projects and logistics, and he is on notice that He's the subject of capture. You with me? I have put him on notice that the syndicates are studying him. They've studied him. They've worked him out. They know what his cash flow position is. They know where the pressure is. Can he pay month-end bills? Yeah? And then they will come to him and say, after a month or two, to say, how can we help you, sir? How can we help you? We are here to help you. Yeah? Here's a brown envelope.
They've went already.
So they've been to him already, says the president. So there you have it. So there are significant new appointments that are being made, others that are joining us. We're going to have to, in this process of examining these 70 or 80 colleagues in management positions, we're going to have to align and get colleagues to step up. The challenge of, and I'm going to stop and then invite a few more contributions. The challenge about the academic program and qualification mix and enrollment in the institution, I think it's a legitimate concern. How do we remedy that? How do we remedy it when the output from the public school system of grade 12s with 50% math and 50% science is what it is? It's not going up, that output. So the results look better, what, 80-odd% pass? But if we just drill down and look at math and science. And so this year we've had a big problem, as the SG knows, as the academic officer knows. We had 80,000 late applications. Of them, 33,000, say 50,000 didn't meet our requirements, basic requirements. We thought that about 30,000, that we'd send them invitations. We're only able to yield 1,000 of them. So here's the late application conundrum for you to think about. 80,000 plus, 30,000, 1,000. Part of the drama, of course, is that we are not the first choice University of Technology because of the drama. And so our big challenge is going to be to remedy that concern of yours. Is going to have to be to find a solution as to, firstly, of course, we're going to have to sort out the reputation, our image, public image. Secondly, we're going to have to look at not so much our entrance requirements, although we're going to have that conversation. Yeah? We're going to have that conversation about our entrance requirements in time for next year. And so the SRC must make an input. Please make your inputs to the SRC. Right? So we're going to we're going to look at whether that is the explanation, the 50% threshold, right? Into engineering and to applied sciences. The second thing that we are going to up our game on is the, what do you call? Extended programs. Just to create more room for entry. Yeah? So from next year, we're going to have a range of extended programs. Of course, it's going to be important for you to keep an eye on that so that the balance is weighted towards applied science, computer science, and to engineering. Now, of course, we need also to be careful so that we don't brush every humanities and social sciences program with that general brush. Yeah? Because some of those programs are important, even for our university. And so just think about that as well. I think those are the issues that confront us. Just to summarize, 3 kinds of recommendations that are in those 13 recommendations. They organize into 3 categories. The first is about governance. And there are a range of remedies recommended there that we're going to implement in consultation with the minister. The second category is management, and I've explained that to you, what the plan is, that we're going to go down to level 6 in terms of lifestyle audits, in terms of declaring conflicts of interest, in terms of evaluating commitment, competence, capability, fit, and performance. And the third one, as you've pointed out, is in the whole area of procurement. And so we're going forward with those issues. And so the President and other leaders have raised a range of other issues. I'm not going to respond to them. We are engaging the SRC regularly. I've just had a new request for a follow-up meeting with management, and we will make time to meet with you about those issues, including the issues that the President has raised tomorrow. So I'm not going to comment on the LAPA. Yeah? We'll take that offline as well, please. Let's take, I think we can take about 5 or 6 inputs from the floor before we close.
Thank you very much, Prof. Students of VUT at large, my name is Elisha Mokhale. Yeah, Prof, I just want to reflect on the issues that were raised when I perused the report from the assessor. It pays attention on how the operations were centralized on certain faculties when you check in terms of academics. It says that we are paying more attention on management faculties and human science. I mean, it's human what? It's human sciences. And with the 4th Industrial Revolution, we have to pay more attention on the science and the engineering faculties, because we need to be ready as the introduction of 1st Industrial Revolution takes place, or it is incepted across the board. We need to be well ready. But I have a crisis here, Prof, because when you check, there was a course which is NDT. That course, Prof, it is not in the industry, it is not well recognized, because there were several crises that were raised by the industries and markets that this course is not productive in the market. So I don't know how you're going to tackle that issue, because students have been raising this issue consistently about NDT, and then there were no particular attention that was given to that particular area, and it was not even resolved. Prof, I just want to commend your effort in terms of expediting the process of appointing the deputy vice chancellors, because, Prof, we need to share the responsibility, and we need to ensure that certain issues are escalated to the vice chancellors, because you cannot be the only person who respond to the issues of the institution. We need the deputy vice chancellor so that there can be a smooth flow of operations in the institution. So I'm really happy about such effort that you have made, such undertaking. Prof, I just want to check that was the vice chancellor given enough time or sufficient time to respond to all these allegations? Was he afforded an opportunity? to respond to all this allegation. I just want to check from your side, Prof. And then, Prof, when I perused again the report, it speaks about the absorbent amount that is it's allocated to courts and all those things, Prof. With the reference that has been done long, because, Prof, I remember in last year, there was an issue in terms of governance. And then there was an arrogance from the office of the dean, because that's where we lose more cases from the office of the dean. So I don't know, Prof, how are you going to handle these issues? Because, Prof, now we are in the meek, or we are in the edge of going to SRC election. The term of the SRC is lapsing in 2 weeks' time. We are going to SRC elections. And for us to go to SRC election, do we have to go to the route of court again for us to get the SRC elections? Route of court. Because the term of SRC, it has 12 months. It has been allocated 12 months that are going out the SRC. So going to an SRC, do students have to speak about all these issues, or already there are plans on the pipeline to ensure that students are given free and fair chance to exercise their voices through the ballots? And other things, Prof, the processes of SRC elections needs to be transparent, Prof, because we come from the SRC election that did not even give us the result how certain people lost. We just see people's names there. We just see people's names there. But this and this is an SRC. But we don't know how many votes the students have voted. You understand? So we need a fair and transparent processes. Another part, Prof, I'm really happy about the rebranding of Change VUT. I think it's going to resuscitate or revive the reputation that we used to have. But, Prof, how do we change VUT while we still have students that are swimming in debt? What is the amicable solution to resolve the issues around student debts? Because, Prof, if university keeps on increasing the fees absorbently and abnormally, but they're not giving effort in terms of how they're going to resolve the student debts, it means we are not changing the VUT. So we really need to come up with efforts to ensure that there is a way of ensuring that student debts are resolved at the end of the day. And the last part, Prof, it's
Okay, you guys, all your issues have been raised.
it's facilities, Prof. Ne? The issue of facilities, Prof. Last year, we got rid of that Eurocentric program of EDL. There was a Eurocentric program that was undermining the dignity of a black child. So we decided as students that we no longer want that program because it does not seek to elevate us as black people, because it does not teach us, does not give us any history about who we are as black people. So, but Prof, there are remaining facilities there, the computer labs and all those things. And then those particular computers that are still there, nagging there. And we are saying that, Prof, how about we open operational centers where students are going to access those particular areas for information, so that it does not sit there and then it expire. I mean, not even expired. It got rust, you know, it has rust and all those things. So it must be useful. So those particular computers, Prof, it must be useful. So we cannot have facilities that are just sitting there in the labs and then without any use, Prof. And another thing, Prof, within the residences, Prof, Prof, we really need to have those particular facilities. We need eye centers within the residences so that students, they have access to computers, because we do assignments, we do typing and all those things, but we don't have computers, some of us. So, Prof, that is my submission.
Good morning to everyone. I think I'm confused, sorry. Okay, Prof. I'm coming from Department of Chemistry. I want to talk on behalf of postgraduates of the whole institution. What we're asking for you, Prof, people who are in leadership, even those who are sitting in front, you got a crisis in C Block. I heard you earlier, you were saying you went to visit the residents and you see what's happening. I was pleading with you probably after the meeting, if it's possible. You go, you do the same visit. You go and check the labs. The undergraduate students are doing practicals there, I'm sure even now. They are working in water inside the labs. Also, us as postgraduates, we feel as we are not, things which have been done are not transparent. It depends, if you want help, it depends how vocal you are. Most postgraduate students in this institution are not being treated well. We've been talking to those guys, I don't know how many times, with the issue of C block. This issue is still the same. The money have been popped, but there's no change. If you can go, same visit you were doing, like what we were doing to go to residents. I'm sure in your office you will see there are money which they come out from that C block. But I'm sure once you arrive there, you won't see any difference. I've been there more than 5 years. Every year we are fighting the same problem. We got a problem of tutorship, which we feel as chemistry postgrad were not being assisted fairly because our number is too much. And then what's happening when the tutors are being allocated? Currently, as postgraduate students in that department, probably are around 40. But when they want assisted for tutorship, they say they want 10 people. And then they say the rest, where they're gonna get experience. And then something which we usually in the past, SRC is always helping us in trying to get tutorship so that we can have something. They always saying they don't have money, but the money is always coming. I don't know where it's coming. And we are not interested where it's coming. But the unfair thing which we are treating, if you're gonna be 40 and then you say you want 10 tutors, and then the rest you must say they must get where must they must get the experience. It's not about money. If I'm a postgrad, I'm here for 6 years. I'm just giving an example. And then I'm just giving an example. Yes, it's how it is. If you can go to our lab, if from here go to those labs, you will see. Then I'm not given tutorship. You only want 10. On my CV, I will be saying I was doing what on the rest of 6 years.
Cool. Thanks very much. I'm finished this side now, no? Last of last.
Thank you very much, Prof. My name is Masbulele Chwele. Okay, I will try to be quickly as much as possible. We want to commend you, Prof, for the work that you have done since you have arrived in our institution. I mean, the appointment and the filling of executive position. That is a commendable work, except suspending our democratically elected leaders. There we don't agree with you. However, that is not the point, Prof. Prof, I mean, the transformation agenda on its own is not something that we can do overnight. We need to have strategies in place to complement it. I'm saying this precisely because, Prof, as the university, we suffered, in fact, to fill quotas this year because of the online system, which we are not anti or we are not against it. We support it in fully. But we have an office here, recruitment office headed by Mr. Masite, which is the recruitment office. They are not doing their job and they are getting paid. I mean, the recruitment office, its duty is to attract matriculants and other people who wishes to further their studies in the institutions of higher learning. But at VUT, it's a different case. So that office, if it's not doing its job, Prof, let it be closed. And then we will suffer and suffer again in terms of getting people coming to enroll at VUT. And the other thing, Prof, is that I want to comment on the financial status of the university. The financial status of the university, we are told that we are operating on deficit. But the most people who are suffering out of that is these poor students that you see. These students, they come to the university, Prof, inject money through NSFAS, others through self-funding. But these comrades, the executive management, they get to misuse that money. At the end of the day, at the end, sorry.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. One of the things that I encourage and have an expectation on is respect for each other. It is Ubuntu, it's our Ubuntu spirit. No. coming. So my appeal, it's been the conversation we've had with the SRC, is let's be respectful. Let's not make false allegations or unproven allegations. Or when we communicate, yeah, let's be careful. Because we're building a community here. Yeah? We're building a community here. And if we're going to be saying, hey, those comrades, that one, I nonsense lom too. What? It's a problem. So that's just my appeal, leader.
Thank you very much, Prof. My argument was that, Prof, these poor students, they come, inject money to the university, and the money get to be misused by the executives of the university, which is responsible for running the university. Now we can't register, we are told of upfront payment, some tremendous percentages that they do not make sense to us. So, Prof, we are going to assist you, we are going to participate if we need to participate in the process of assisting SIU. Because now we can't register and the money get to be missing in the university. Secondly, Prof, I want to speak to the office of the registrar. The office of the registrar have costed these poor students that you see here, Prof. Today, we have qualifications and we don't know where we are going. That office has awarded people qualification that they do not deserve. That office, Prof, have been engaging in criminal activities, including changing marks for people that they do not deserve. And other students, they cross-night at library, they sleep, they don't sleep, they study. Others, they just get favors. So that office has costed us, Prof. It has, even in the report, in the assessor's report, it is stipulated clearly that the core business of the universities have been affected by these corrupt activities. So, Prof, we want to plead with you that you must act in that office of the registrar. It's costed students so much. Also, the same office had knew the engineering block were not doing well. From long time ago, they knew that we were not doing well in terms of producing students, engineering graduates. This is proven how, Prof. You go to engineering today, they have hired our fellow brothers from other countries, which is not a problem. But those brothers of ours, they are not producing a scarcity skill. The university, more especially the Department of Engineering, have failed to hire our graduates that have been doing engineering in this institution. But Prof, we have full confidence in you. We are going to support you throughout. Thank you very much for the platform.
Greetings to you all, comrades. My name is Mnqedis Makubo. Prof, firstly, I would like to have a little bit question to you and Tateneo there on top. That we have students who are using NSFAS, but these students, as much as they are using NSFAS, we only found out this year in your presence that if maybe you've been a student from 2017 or 2018, you are owing the school fees, which now give us a big question. That how can a whole university give a student food and book allowance but not pay the fees of the school? And secondly, because Prof, if now you come to VUT and register, they will say go and apply for NSFAS. And when we go there to NSFAS office, they will ask you, are you poor or what? You'll say, I'm poor. Then they say, prove it. You go around the whole world trying to get many documents to prove that you are poor. They even send you to police station to write your personal things, your personal feelings, that how much are you poor. Then at the end, then now, Prof, when you come back and now you submit all those documents, they now have they now have 100% proof that I am poor. Then when they say I come to register, they will tell me that I am owing about 185,000 while I'm busy, while all along all these years from 2018 I've been receiving book and food allowance from NSFAS. So how does the NSFAS work Gandhi in VUT, because it is supposed to even pay for the school fees? Then so last prof, last. Then prof, this first point of mine, I would like to be answered by Mr. Neo there, please. Then second, prof, and lastly, we as now student leaders, we don't have any problem with this thing of online application. But prof, if you really think about students who come from deep rural areas, who never even saw a computer, who never even sit in front of a computer, till they come to higher institution. And we even have some schools back there in KZN who have one computer or maybe two per school from the reception and the principal on. Then now we are saying their student must apply online. I will not insulting those students by saying they must apply online, because they never saw anything that touches online things.
Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you very much, Prof. For I personally and welcome the report of the assessor, because it reflects on many things: the history of the institution, the structural methodology of the institution, and it gave all parties to come and submit with provided evidence. And if ever we've got a negative question against the report, we can approach the legal courts. So the report is highly welcomed. Now, let me go to the statute, the first document. The statute said there was inefficiency of taking the decision because there were about 40 members in council. It creates groupings and cabals, so it's going to be reduced to 20 members of council. I welcome that. On this note, I think other members and any additions in council are necessary. If you are going to have a postgraduate student in council, yet have a representation of convocation that represent graduates, we have got two organs and two bodies representing graduates. So let's separate that. It's either the SRC has one or two representatives with non-academic qualifications. Now let's go to the second one. Okay, Elisa raised the issue of SRC elections, blah blah, and what. No. Let's do this. In reversing the statute, let's also look at another document that was introduced by DA, which is the SRC Constitution. That should be the bone of contention, because if you can reflect to the history of this institution, it's 3 times that SRC elections get postponed because of the fraudulent of the document. It's the 2009 SRC Constitution. It is outdated. You can go and give us SRC elections many times before you leave. But you're an administrator, when you leave here, you do not want to live with a problem. You want to resolve the problem first. So the actual problem that Elise was supposed to address is that the SRC Constitution is got flaws, and it makes us to postpone SRC Constitution continuously. Now, by the way, I don't have ambitions, whether they sit or I don't sit, I don't care. I was just reflecting on the bed. So Chair, Administrator, also the part of SIU report, the Special Investigative Unit from the Office of the Presidency, it must not only follow those who are in management or those who are with us or student leaders who are also corrupt. It must also follow those companies who did irregular expenditure, who did not do value for service, those 32 million missing people, the special investigating unit must not run only on individuals, it must also run on those companies, and not only blacklist them in universities and TVET colleges. We did make that recommendation. It must also want to bring back the man of the institution. So that report, that is why I support it. It's got technical measures at high expectations. Now, Prof, I know, we all want insourcing. I'm not against it, but the problem is that insourcing, it's a process. You are here for a certain period. Maybe by the time you leave, because you are left with 15 months, you're going to live without resolutions. But in actual fact, I'm glad even in this process. I know when there's a process of security, I know you hear a lot of things and head of noise and a lot of lobbying. It's been quiet. I'm glad that no one is going to benefit from a security tender. I'm happy, and you did very well. We recommend you on that. It was a serious problem. Yes, also it speaks about peri-peri. No, it does not speak about employees. These people did not do anything. It speaks about peri-peri. So don't look at these individuals. There's nothing wrong about them. It speaks about peri-peri getting, and its appointment was legitimate because it was responding to immediate crisis, but it does not understand why did it lasted for such long. So that was one of the technical measures that we're happy about. Also, Prof, there are positions that do not appear on the onogram, and the university has lost lots of amounts of money, and the university's got more than 70% of the salary bill in the institution. For an example, the position of executive dean is close to $1 million per annum. That position was not even part of the anagram. Only deans that are here are supposed to be deans of faculties that are sitting up front there. So we did not have such position. Even Jimmy made a reference in TUT that they don't have such a position. They only have got the director, which is one of the fellows that applied there, who I hope it coming, but did not come because of circumstances. But it speaks on that. So, yes. And then also, Prof, I'm completing now, 30 seconds. And also, Prof, CFO, it must teach us a lesson, You can make restructure, but I think you must tell the executive team institutions that even if when dynamics are going left and right, they get frustrated, some of them, the academics. I don't think Prof. van der Bank is into those things of corruptions and so forth. No, listen. Hey, manyani. How? I don't think he's into those things. Even his portfolio does not give him those leverages. For an example, the position of CFO, the guy was given benefits, traveling allowance, was even washed for clothes, laundries. So those are some of the things that you must change. Now, on my last point, Prof, the role of satellite campuses, I think they are contributing to overstaffing, and are contributing overstaffing unnecessary. Uppington campus has got 103 students. That is not a satellite campus, does not qualify to be one. That's a classroom. And you've got staff and bodies that are hired there and are paid by the institution. I think, Prof, you must revisit that. It gives us a problem. I think that campus must, Science Park is different. Even if it's students of education and so forth, at Science Park, there are other activities that benefit the well-being and the knowledge of the institution. Same as the gym, I agree with you. If TUT, if Ekurhuleni is looking to build a university, while we've got a satellite campus there, because Ekurhuleni speaks, it's an industrial area which focuses on firms, engineering, and other skills. If ever we don't give them that, obviously they are going to build a university. Thank you, Professor Marie.
Okay. Oh. All right, I think we can take another 3. We're coming to this side now.
Thank you so much. Greetings to the house at large. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Prof. My name is Mduduzi, the surname is Zulu. What I just want to highlight, because Comrade has covered most of the spaces, is that, Prof, our problems here in this university, they start not just from the top. When the report speaks about level 1, 2, 3, and 4, you are correct when you say that we must go down to even to the last level. Because majority of the staff of VUT, they're not, they're supposed to be people who are working at the service point. They're supposed to be reacting in that manner. But I believe that they've forgotten. They don't even want to interact with the very students that they are here for. Prof, here in this university, for the past years that I've been here, we don't have a program, a solid program of academic support. We're not supported. For an example, if you got here, you have realized we never had Wi-Fi on the hotspot. Wi-Fi is part of academic support. And another part that I also think, and I wish, Prof, that you must look upon. It is always preached in South Africa that we need to make sure that we strengthen our people in academics in terms of applied science and engineering. But here in VUT, we have a problem because we cannot do that. Those structures are captured. If you check very well, especially in the engineering, you will find very few of our people who are given an opportunity to even teach. Sometimes it's very much difficult even for the students to understand the lectures. In majority of them, they are non-South Africans. And what happens, not that I'm against fellow Africans, what happens, Prof, is that where they start reducing our people is through the academics. You do your first year, second year, and third year, when you're supposed to be doing your BTech during the time when it was BTech, you find out that you don't have the qualifying marks. But only people that are from outside have those qualifying marks. The ladies who are doing engineering, they will tell you, Prof. I always mentioned this thing in EMC meetings. Some of the leaders that are up there, they know what I'm about to say now. That some of the engineering students, I have warm bodies that were willing to come and testify to say that I have failed this module 2 times. And the lecturer told me that for as long as you've never slept with me, you'll never pass this module. These things, they happen here. We have been reporting them, and nothing has been happening. And what unfolds is that you'll find out that now, the whole department, tutors of engineering, you won't find a South African on those tutors. Now, they are grooming their own people so that they fulfill those positions when they are gone. Then what happens to the amelioration of our people in terms of science and technology? Nothing. So, oh no.
I think I must respond immediately to this last issue you've raised. Please, if there are cases now, bring them to me so I can make an example. Yeah? Please. Please. If there is one thing under my watch while I'm here, under my watch that I will not tolerate, it is sexual harassment, it is gender-based violence. That I draw the line under. Sex for marks, draw the line under. Yeah? So please, I want to make examples. At UJ, I've made examples. Yeah? On this topic, I don't play. Yeah? On this topic, I don't play on this matter. I'm also a father of a 24, 25-year-old, so I know exactly what's at stake here and what's in play here. So please, speaking to the women here especially, please step up. Please step up. Do not allow your body, do not allow others to demand your body in order to achieve their objectives. So please, draw the line and bring to me cases. Asseblief. Yeah? Asseblief. Okay, we will take a couple. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought of it at the outset, but...
Good day, everybody. I'm not going to introduce myself. I'm one of the engineering students. Prof, we have a problem in the engineering department. I'm one of the first to do the new diploma in engineering. And then we came in 2017. There's no direction in engineering. We have 4 semesters to complete our theory modules and then do our practicals. When we go for interviews, they're asking us, after semester 4, what have you been doing? Which is the whole 2019, what were we doing? We were doing semester 5. Why do we have semester 5? The old diploma, they have 1 year of practicals. Why do we have 6 months? What are we going to learn in 6 months in the industry? After we graduate, with 6 months of experience, who's gonna hire me? And then again, Prof, we have students, a lot of students, who registered in 2017. They are currently sitting at home doing nothing. Yes. We have the N Block department, co-op. We had a meeting with them last year. We requested a meeting, they met with us. We gave them solutions on how to solve the matters that we have at hand. They promised us that in January, they're gonna call us. Nobody received a call. We've been submitting CVs since last year, June. Nobody has been called. We've been called for interviews here and there, and then after that, we sit at home doing nothing. I am doing 1 module that I don't need, and I can't stay at home doing nothing. I'm here at school, I registered. I'm sitting in my room the whole day, doing 1 module. My parents have to give me money every month, which is a cost on their side. I want to graduate, and I can't graduate without in-service training. I have to sit at home doing absolutely nothing, waiting for a call. It's hard to find in-service training, and that's what co-op has to do for us. Please request a meeting with the dean and call all engineering students to come and listen to him.
Okay, thank you, Prof. My name is Betty Meyer. Prof, I've been here since 2016. We have encountered the same issue. We don't have chairs in our classrooms. We don't have tables in our classrooms. We don't even have projector resources, whereby if you are late, you will have to run around, look for a chair. Even during exam time, we have to look around and run for a chair. Other thing, Prof, is our bookshop. Our bookshop is way expensive compared to the other bookshops. Prof, is so expensive. We have another bookshop there by Pick and Pay. When you compare prices, they are way too high. We can't afford. So please implement on that. Other thing is regarding our residences. We have our own main res, VUT main res, but we can't stay there. Why? The safety issue. Maintenance. We'll find that there are rooms, but they are they are not well maintained. Your safety and the distance from Nkandla to when it's raining, it's a must to come to library because the sound is not well maintained. You have to. Okay. Prof, Prof,
Order, 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 order. Are we struggling to listen to our fellow women students? Are we struggling to listen to our fellow women students? So what's the problem?
Okay. Okay, thank you, Prof. The other thing is that with main res, it's our res. We should be staying there, but we run to external reses. We run to private reses because we are well maintained. We feel safe when we are there. In main res, you can marry someone and stay with someone in your room. Like, say,
Thank you. Thank you. Ngiyabonga. So our last input.
Thank you very much, Prof. My name is Karabu Divet. I'm a resident at Kutlano. On the issue of main res, I would say I'm the victim of that because we don't have toilets recently. We use one toilet, which is the matron's toilet, and mind you that we are many. Where we stay, we feel like we are just dumped there, yet we pay rent. So on that issue of main res, last year I remember our HK submitted the memorandum or triple S, and we never received any feedback on that. We are females, we get infections. So imagine sitting on a toilet that you see, even squatter cancer better. Yet we are here paying rent. So my request is one. Please take us, or please let those who are in charge take us seriously. We are females, we do pay rent as other students. When you stay at Emberfield or in another external residences, people are taken care there. We don't have Wi-Fi, and the library cannot occupy all of us. So that's my request. Please consider us. May 2020, with you in charge, bring difference.
Okay. I want to begin by saying thank you. Thank you for a very important conversation. And I hope that we're going to have many more of these conversations as we fix our institution and as we do it together. Remember? As we do it together. There are many issues that have been raised. I just want to pick on one issue. So not only was the academic program neglected, as you've pointed out, academic support, tutors, whole first-year support to make the transition to university, and so on and so forth. The condition of our facilities was also not taken care of. And so I have made a commitment, as I make to you, that the next 6 months will see change. The residences that you spoke about, there will be change. There's no question about that. How we do that change is another question. It cannot be that the reses that I have visited and that I continue to walk and see with the SRC and with colleagues on management, it can't be that we wouldn't want, as management, our own children to live in those residences. Earlier in the meeting to staff, or with staff, I made the point that at the university that I was before this, not a single res is scored less than 3 out of 5. At VUT, many of the reses I have to score -1 out of 5. So I understand what you're saying. I appreciate what you are saying. It can't be that the external reses are in better shape than ours. It can't be. And so we've committed ourselves that we're going to have a meeting once a week only on infrastructure and residences. Only on infrastructure and residences. As we managed ourselves with daily meetings through the registration period and late applications period, so we're going to have the same dedication to the condition of our campus, in particular the condition of our lecture halls and labs, and the condition of our residences. And so that's a commitment that I make to you. I end off by saying that we have a number of colleagues on the administrator's task team that I have invited to come and assist me. One of them is here. I don't know if you remember Dr. Prince Nevatalu. He was at TUT and then at CPUT, Deputy VC at TUT and Vice Chancellor at CPUT. And so I've brought him on board to say, Prince, can you help me, A, with the team here, finalize the issue of satellite campuses. I just had a face-off meeting now with colleagues who came all the way from Secunda to say to me, they believe that that campus is viable. And as you know, we took a decision this year that no first-year enrollment will occur on that campus until we make a decision, and we're going to make that decision in the next couple of months, if not sooner. Same with Uppington. And so Prince, what is helping us is to get ready to make that decision, or those decisions. He's also here to help me and the team put the microscope on Science Park. How much science is in that park? Yeah? And he's saying to me at the moment he can't find the science. Yeah? And so there are big questions that we have to answer about that campus. I'm really worried about that campus. Deeply worried about it. Deeply worried because it seems to some of us that the image doesn't match the facts. And so that's a big part of his role. His other role is to help us with Mancom, to give life to the innovation, tech transfer, commercialization. You've also highlighted here the issue of students who require workplace learning. We'll have to bring that on board as well. A second colleague on the team is responsible. I brought her on board to help us think through academic development and support, to reimagine it and help us rebuild it. One of the things that I know, yes, we've got big financial problems. One of the things I know from our own experience, and this is a fact, the University of Johannesburg student profile is exactly like this here, like you. When I arrived here, I heard some of the leaders here saying, hey, this is not the bourgeois UJ. Huh? But one thing that I know that we did right at UJ was to get academic development and support right. No 3-day or 5-day orientation into what the university looks like. A 2-week intense orientation into your transition from school to university. Intense in your faculty. And then support throughout the year in what we call the first year experience program. What we did there was, as a matter of interest, to build up a tutor support system and senior tutors to the tune of 3,000 tutors and senior tutors. So maybe from that point of view, UJ is bourgeois. From the finances point of view, I don't know. Yeah? But the point is that we need to really, together with the management team and the deans, reinvent and reimagine and redesign our academic development support program. And so there is one colleague who is working with us on that. There's a third colleague who's working with us on the finances and on procurement and on IT, governance. And then there's a fourth colleague working with us on human resources, policies, and breakdowns and fixing those breakdowns. And so that gives you an idea of the range of things that preoccupy us in addition to the issues that are raised in the assessor's report. And so I thank you for your engagement in that report, and I appeal to us. If somebody wants to involve you in corruption, stop them in their tracks and say, "Hi, Ndim, not me. Not me." And if you see somebody entrapped in corruption, have the courage to point that person out to us. Whether it's a staffer, whether it's a student, whether it is a company. Have the courage to point them out, because that is when change begins. It is when we conjure up the courage to say, I have been the subject of corruption, or at least of being corrupted. So please, let's begin the change by being the change ourselves. Yeah? And let's continue these conversations. I'm sure the SRC, Mr. President, SG, when you are back in office, you're going to have these imbizos yourselves. Yeah? And you're going to have these conversations yourself so that you take leadership. Now, of course, I heard Elisha raise the issue about the SRC, term of office. Andisokhuluma nge-SRC election namhlanje. We need to have a round table with the SRC and with the political student organizations and plot the way. Yeah? We must have that, you say before 2 weeks. We must have it in the next week then, so that we can hear each other out. So we can hear each other out. And I mean, I prefer to make decisions in consultation with you, right? Not after consultation with you. You see the difference? But in consultation with you. So let's make time next week, if not early the other week, so that we can conclude and determine the way forward. I've not answered all of the issues. I've covered, I think, some of the ground, and we have taken copious notes about the issues that you have raised, and we're going to engage the SRC on those issues that are still outstanding. But from my side, thank you very much, and all the best for this year. Thank you.